All right, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Authentically Albertan. Today we are here again in Lloydminster, and this time we're covering the sweet spot.
Yes.
How have you been?
Good. Working.
Working.
Yeah.
How have you been, Lia?
Good.
Yeah.
I been working here for a while, so very busy this season.
This season, is it for Mother's Day that's coming up?
Well, like summer in general is always very busy. It started from Easter and going Mother's Day and Father's Day and weddings.
Do you see more weddings happening in the summer than in any other season?
Yes, absolutely. So I have a couple that are like close to November.
Okay.
But really, summer is always a big season for
Big weddings.
for weddings. Yes.
Well, thank goodness that we caught you at this time.
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine you must be very busy.
Yeah, but around June is always very, very busy. Starting the month into the end of the month is a nightmare. It's a lot.
I can't imagine. I can't
Yeah.
imagine all those wedding cakes that you gotta make.
Yes.
How do you keep yourself organized?
Well, I am very obsessed with the organization. I like to.
I see you've got a calendar over there.
Yes, I have a calendar also on my phone. I write everything down on my phone. I always write in notes something that I know there is a small detail that I don't want to forget, so I write a note down so I make sure that I don't forget. But it does happen that it has happened to me once that I write the date wrong and people came to pick up their cake and I have nothing to give them. It's always fun. I did made it the next day and deliver it.
But I imagine there must have been like no sleep, 24 hours.
It makes me feel very guilty when that mistakes like that happen because people always counting on you, right? And obviously, if it's a wedding, they will kill you. But even if it's a birthday and someone is excited to bring this cake, a very custom-made cake, to someone and you just like, yeah, I don't have it. It's just sad. But I haven't been able to fix my mistakes. The couple ones that I had.
That's always good to hear.
Yeah.
That you're able to bounce back and that
Yes.
you're able to fix it and that you're able to, again, come back stronger.
Yeah, I did make the cake and deliver it the next day. Because the birthday was not until the next day, but this happened that the day before they were going to be here in Lloyd.
But it shows how committed you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was, don't worry about it. Give me your address and I will deliver your cake tomorrow no matter what. So that's what I did. I work all day and then the next morning I get up early and deliver the cake.
Before the camera started rolling, we were talking about, that there's a formula to cakes, that there's a certain, I don't want to say rigidity, but there's a certain number of steps that you gotta follow.
Yeah.
When it comes to making cakes like this on the fly, how do you balance that?
Well, I already have my recipes, the ones that I use most of the time, and I always get married to a recipe for a while, and then I get bored, and I'm like, I want to try something new, and then I try to change it, and it happens again. I'm like, we're done. I need something different. But once that you get ahead of how baking works, you can change things at the moment as long as you know to balance with the rest of the ingredients, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I have very basic recipes to do the vanilla cake. It's just like very basic. For me, the easy part is baking the cake.
It doesn't look basic to me. I see behind me a lot of complex materials and ingredients that you're working with.
Yes.
Even this one right here, look at that. That doesn't seem basic to me. That seems very complex.
Well, the decorating part is my favorite part. Like I don't like baking a lot, but the artistic part is the part that I enjoy the most. And yes, the artistic part is not basic. The baking is kind of basic, but the artistic part is definitely not basic. It depends a lot what people want. So like this one, I did it myself. Like this was my idea, something I wanted to do, and I thought it's like an opportunity. I want to make this cake that I wanted to do since the other day. So. But it's not basic. That's for sure not basic.
So I wanted to ask you, if you weren't a baker right now, what do you think you'd be doing?
Well, I love animals. So my goal was to work in animal rescue. But when we moved to Alberta, I realized that it's not an animal rescue thing in here. And I struggled for a little bit. I didn't know what to do with my life. And then I made a cake for my wife. And she loved it, and she was like, "You should do this for a living." And I was like, I don't think so. And she was like, no, yeah, this is like, it looks like a professional cake. And I was like, okay. So I started baking for friends and family, not charging. And then one day when I thought it was good enough, I was like, maybe now I can start charging for this. Yeah, but that was like 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So around the pandemic.
Yes.
That's very brave. That's very
Yes.
brave to start a new business during the pandemic. But a lot of entrepreneurs took that as an opportunity, as a chance to really focus on what they wanted to do, what they wanted to bring to the table.
Well, I wanted to have a job that I liked because I was working, but I wasn't too happy with I work at nights and I wasn't pleased with it. And I have always like the artistic kind of side of me.
Mm-hmm.
So the pandemic, funny enough, like people were still buying food and cakes and whatever, with pretty much no contact, right? Because you open the door, deliver the cake, and then that's all
it.
you do. Yeah.
Even maybe in some cases you just knocked on the door, left the cake there, and then stepped
and
away.
Exactly. So it was nice to start doing that. Yeah.
And where can we find you when you're not baking? So outside of baking, what are your other interests?
Well, I'm pretty much in my house all the time, but because I love video games and Legos and things like that, and my dogs. I don't like to leave because I have my dogs, and I always feel guilty if they have to stay alone like too long. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I gotta go. They're probably crying. I have to go. But yeah, pretty much I'm at home.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not much a person.
No.
No.
But you wanted to work in animal rescue.
Yeah, it was different. I would go out for the animals. Yes. But I guess after the pandemic, I became way more being at home. Like I always loved being at home, but after the pandemic, it became more normal for me. And sometimes it's like 2-3 weeks, and I don't go out at all.
Really?
Yeah, so my wife would come and say, do you want to go out for breakfast or lunch? And I would say, no. And she's like, you haven't go out in 3 weeks. I think we should go out. And I'm like, okay, let's go out for lunch.
And do you feel like you need that sun, though? The vitamin D?
Now it's summer, yes. But during winter, there's no sun to enjoy anyways.
Yeah, true.
So I do like to go in the backyard and take the sun, but honestly, I am very busy. Like I went to bed at 5 a.m. last night. Well, this morning.
Wow.
Yes, because I have some cakes to finish and all that. So.
Well, thanks again for joining us for the interview. That's commitment right there. I can't believe you went to sleep at 5.
Yes, and I finished the cake like 10 minutes before you got here.
What's your process like when people come here and they want to figure out what type of wedding cake they need?
Well, I like to ask the colors if they have any ideas and that they have thought about it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they have inspiration pictures. Sometimes I just write everything down and then I attempt to draw because I am terrible at drawing. And give them the ideas and then they can choose whatever they want.
What about the flavors? Is there like a flavor test you have, or
they can choose over 5 flavors, mm-hmm. And then if they want to do a tasting, we can make an appointment for that again, and they can come back and have a tasting.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a lot of steps.
Yes, I like to make sure that they are happy with. A wedding is always a big deal, right? And I have every customers, the ones that just want a small cake for the couple to cut, and the ones that want like 5 tiers cake with flowers, and so I like to make sure that they have what they want. Of course, mm-hmm. It's very personal, and it's very personal. People want it very personalized and very specific. And somehow you became part of their moment. No, you're not there, but what you do became part of their memories and everything. So you don't want to be the memory like, oh, the cake was terrible. That's the only thing that I remember about the wedding. The cake was terrible, right? Very important. Very important. Yes. That the cake is good. Yes, inside and out, right? What do you usually suggest? What's your personal recommendation when it comes to wedding cakes? You've done it. You've done them for so much. It is hard because every couple is different. I have a couple that I love that I have made their wedding cake, their engagement cake, their wedding cake, the gender reveal cake, and then the first-year-old baby cake and they love fishing, and all through that has been fishing theme. Like even their wedding cake, I made a cake topper with a fishing theme, and cupcakes with a fishing theme. Everything is fishing theme with them. So it depends a lot of every person is different. Every couple wants something different. I'm making a wedding cake this November, like it's a Halloween theme. So it's a lot of black and blood and things like that. So every person is different. It's not an answer for that.
Wait, they want a wedding cake that's like Halloween themed?
Yes. It's a cake with black colors and a scary movie theme and all that.
For a wedding?
For a wedding.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'd expect that kind of cake for a birthday.
Yes.
For a birthday in October, but a wedding.
Yeah. No, it's a wedding theme of Halloween, I guess.
Is that the craziest cake that you baked?
I
for a
think
wedding?
so. For a wedding, yes, I think so.
Wedding. Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say, I wonder if there's another one that takes a cake.
No, I feel like that one is definitely one of the most out there wedding cakes that I have gonna make, because I haven't made it, but I am already working on it because I'm making the cake toppers myself and all that. So even if it's in November, I'm already thinking and designing how big they are and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, imagine the flavors and like the coloring that goes into it.
Yes,
And
mostly because black is always hard.
yeah, what do you use for that?
Well, it's just food coloring, and well, the secret is like to cool the whipping cream or the whatever you're covering the cake with, and then if you warm it up, it gets darker and darker as you go. So that's the way to do it. So that way you don't use too much dye on the food, because it does change the flavor if you use too much coloring food.
Because I'd imagine it would be the fondue.
Oh, fondant?
Yeah, fondant.
Yes, fondue is cheese.
Oh, fondant. Thank you for correcting me.
I was like, I don't use fondue for my cake.
Fondant, I love fondant on cake, so I thought maybe you made like a...
Many people doesn't like fondant.
They don't?
Yes, many people want just cakes with buttercream, so you have to color in the buttercream, not the fondant. Yeah, that one is the hardest one, because fondant you can made it or buy it black. You don't have to stress about it. But buttercream, you have to make it yourself, and it's always fun.
I don't know. I think you'd probably like mixing Oreos or something in there to make it black. No, nothing.
No. It's just because if they don't want Oreos in their cakes, I can't put Oreo in it. And also Oreos have this texture, right? No matter how much you put them in the blender, it can have like crumbs, and you won't be able to make a cake smooth because of it.
Yeah, I can't imagine how you'd make. That's honestly magic right there, making the buttercream black.
Yes.
Because the ones that I saw on your website, the buttercream was like the regular color.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't dyed or anything. But if they ask for dye,
yes,
I don't know how that works.
I do have a couple of cakes that they have dye, but like pink and blue is just not a big deal. It's the darker colors that are always
tougher.
Yes.
Would you say that's the hardest step when making a cake?
Yes, I feel like if they want a dark buttercream, every time I have to do it, I struggle. If something happened,
you charge them extra every time.
No, I don't. I can't do that, because that's not their fault that I can't manage. But it has happened to me actually with this this girl that I didn't have her cake ready for her birthday, and I had to deliver it the next day. It was black, and everything happened. So I finished the cake like at 3 and 4 in the morning, because it was just not working for me. Like on top of everything, of course. So
I can't imagine the pressure in that moment.
And also, like I am my standards of myself are very high, and I grab cakes and toast them in the garbage, or like start all over, because I just don't like, this is not what I wanted. Doesn't in my brain, in my mind, didn't look like this, so I don't want it. So I just decide to start all over, and I don't care if it's 3 a.m. Like I will start over if I have to.
Has there ever been an instance where you recall, we have this segment on the show called Horror Stories. We call it that because it's all about how entrepreneurs face a challenge that they thought was impossible. Really scary challenge.
Yes.
But they were able to beat it and learn from it. So the whole purpose of the horror stories is that we get to learn what happened and how you were able to pull through. So now that we're talking about the subject of throwing cakes away and getting the timing wrong, was there a specific story that you recall where it was absolutely horror, but you pulled through?
I was doing Jack skeleton cake.
Okay.
But I wanted to be standing from here to here. But I wanted to be standing.
Okay, so you wanted like
the chest, yes.
The chest, like a bust.
Yes, exactly. And I didn't have the tools. I was pretty new in what I was doing, and I didn't have the tools. I didn't secure enough the base to hold the very heavy head of the cake, and it just keep coming down on me. Like it just keep falling, and I am upset because I really wanted to be standing. And at some point the whole cake just like goes down, so the head just gets much in the back. And I'm just like, I am just gonna throw in the garbage. I'm just gonna start over. But what I did is I ended doing it like laying down instead of standing. Like I did make the cake, but it was laying down. Yes.
But that's for the future. For the future, that's another challenge you can tackle.
Exactly. But now I know better, and now I know better how to secure the cake to be able to hold the weight.
How would you secure the cake?
Well, it depends on the how much weight are you putting on top, because you can, like when you used to tiers cake, you can just put cake dolls on it, and then with the cardboard it will hold it perfectly. But if it's like a heavy cake, you can put a wood dowel on it all the way through the cake, and then secure at the bottom. Like you actually like glue it in a wooden cake board.
Ah, gotcha.
And then the dowel is actually wood, right? So that makes that the cake won't go anywhere. Yes, but depends a lot. Like if it's a very tall cake and it's gonna be pick up and transport somewhere else, it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing all that work and then having to throw it away and then starting back up again.
It is a lot.
You must have a lot of patience, but at the same time, not that much attachment to the cake itself.
Well, obviously I don't like wasting things, right? And material is expensive, whatever you are halfway done or not. But I do like to, whatever I make, to make sure that it's up to nobody's standards but myself. Like I want people to say, this is, I got exactly what I was hoping for, or what I ordered, or even more. Like I have people that have ordered cakes and I'm like, listen, your cake is great, the picture you sent me is great, but I think I can make it a little bit different. It will look better, and they're like, okay, go for it. And they're always like, thank you for changing it. It looks so much better the way that you did it instead. So I want to make sure that people is always happy. I mean, hopefully, until this day, I don't know if someone just didn't like it, but until this day, it hasn't happened to me yet.
Gotta check the Google reviews.
Yes. To this day, I don't think so. Like I have a couple, I think one customer that she didn't like, it was too much icing on the cake. And I was like, you're right. She did tell me that she didn't like much icing, and I forgot, and I did it like normally I would do a cake. And she did let me know that she didn't like the icing as much. And I apologize. I said next time you're in town, because she's not from here, I will make you another cake, no problem. Yeah. But and it was a simple cake. I just totally escaped my mind.
But that's strange, because here a lot of people like icing. They love cream. They love icing. I'm not a big fan of it.
I don't like cake, so I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like sweets. I know. I understand the shock of it, but yeah, no, I don't like. I like cheesecake. Cheesecake is definitely one of my favorites.
Do you make cheesecake?
Yes, okay. Make cheesecake. But I will not, like the times that I have made a cake for my birthday is for people. It's never because I want the cake for myself.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I want to do something very artistic. So I want to use my birthday as an excuse to make this cake that I've been thinking about.
Yeah, it's an experiment.
Yes.
And nobody can complain because it's your birthday party.
Exactly.
There you go.
But I don't like cake. Yeah. I know. Or cupcakes. Cupcakes also like maybe some flavors, but no. It's not the first thing that I think of. Oh yes, I'm gonna have a cupcake leftover. No, I save them for the family. They love to eat it.
So you're more interested in how it's made.
Yes, how it tastes. I do like.
Obviously, how it
taste
tastes,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
do taste it also because I don't like things that are too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I like that I like it. And sometimes when I do recipes that that are too sweet, well, I ask the family to see if they like it because I don't like sweets that they do. So they're like, no, this is great. I love it. For me, it's I try and I'm like, this is too much. I can't eat this. So I do care that they like how it tastes. And sometimes when I change the recipes of whatever, I always tell my customers, I changed the recipe that I cover the cake with this time around. Let me know if you like it. And if they say, you know what, I didn't like it, then I'm like, I don't do it again. Right.
Yeah.
But until today, it has happened that I got good feedback. Maybe the bad ones haven't get here yet to my ears yet.
No, but that's great to hear that it's always been good, that you've learned from your experiences, and I can't believe that you don't like cake, but you make cake.
I know.
So from someone who didn't like sweets so much, what got you into cakes?
Well, I used to have a restaurant in Mexico.
Okay.
It wasn't a baking thing, but it was a restaurant, and I used to make the cake for the restaurant. And then when I didn't know what to do in my life, it was my wife, the one who was like, "You're very good at this. You should just go for it."
But it was back in Mexico that you learned how to make the cakes.
Yes. Well, the first cake that I learned to make, I think my brother taught me. It was my mom's recipe, and then he taught me, and it was like to-go recipes in the house, like simple cake for us to make. And but it was back in Mexico when it was very simple, nothing like this. It was just like a brown cake with chocolate on top, and that was it. But I always had like cook for people and have it's a selfish thing. It's not like I love the feedback. I love the feedback. It's not, I don't do it for the people. I do it for myself. Yeah, I like to impress people. I like to think that people see what I do and they get impressed by it or happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very selfish thing.
So you were always into culinary because you didn't make or you were working at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
What got you into culinary? What about it drew you?
It's just like it's funny. Before that, I used to have a nail salon. And,
Oh.
I know. And then
So you've worked a lot of jobs.
Yes, and I got sick. So my mom was the one who wanted to open a restaurant. And we were talking actually at the doctor, that I was going to the doctor because of my lungs and all that. And she, we were just waiting, and she was like, "What about we open a restaurant?" And we started talking that day, and then like 3 months later, we were opening a restaurant.
Just like that.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought you went to post-secondary for culinary.
No.
Because it looks very professional on your page.
Thank
It's
you.
very professional, very accurate.
I get very obsessed with things that I like, and
Okay.
I like to learn. Sometimes it's too much because I want to learn everything that comes new. I want to know everything that is out there, and I see something that I haven't done. I want to learn, and I want to do it. So that's what I've been doing. Every time I see something that I want to learn, or I haven't learned, or I haven't tried, I just go for it, and I watch 5 videos, and I'm like, I'm ready.
Videos on YouTube and get ready to start.
Exactly. Sometimes it doesn't work, and I'm like, okay, this didn't go as I planned, but I like to learn.
Has there been a discovery that you've made recently when trying something new?
Um,
I know we kind of touched on it with the Jack Skellington story with the whole head.
Yes.
But aside from that, when it wasn't a horror story, when you were having fun, was there a happy accident that you kind of
That
learned
has
from?
happened. I don't know. I thought when things work out easy, I'm always impressed. When things just go smoothly, I'm like, oh, today was a great day. And I don't know. It's funny because baking is so, I don't know, sensitive. And one day, the same recipe that you have made 100 times, it just doesn't work today. And it's nothing that you can, maybe you did a teeny tiny thing different and you didn't notice, and that's why it's not working. Like once I forgot to label some stuff, and I keep baking cakes, and I didn't realize I was putting powdered sugar instead of flour on it.
What does that do?
Oh, just a bottle of nothing. Like I would put them in the oven, and then it was like boiling water, chocolate water, and I was like, what is happening? And I thought I put so much, maybe baking soda because it was bubbling. And so I remade the cake, and the same thing happened. And the third time I'm gonna try to do this, I just realized that I'm so busy doing 100 things at the same time that I didn't realize I was using powdered sugar instead of flour.
Instead of flour.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind when I have to make a cake.
Yes, just
if I ever have to make a
label everything.
Because I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it in TV shows and movies, but I think one of the biggest cartoons that really demonstrated just how difficult it is to make a cake. When I was little, I watched this old Disney cartoon where Goofy was trying to make a cake, and like his oven kept exploding and burning, and everything was happening to that oven. And then my shock was that when I grew up, I realized that a lot of bakers go through that.
Yes, one day I turned off the oven by accident.
They weren't exaggerating.
No, it is a thing. I by accident I turned off the oven, and then I turned it back on, and the top of the cake went on fire. I'm guessing because when it hits down again, I don't know, but the top was burned. Like it was nothing to do. It was totally burned, the top of the cake. So those things does happen when things just like it. Or you put, instead of flour, you put powdered sugar. Don't do that.
You gotta put the flour in.
One would think you would notice the difference, but I don't know. I was too busy that day, and I just didn't.
When it comes to ingredients, what's the most exotic ingredient that you've ever put in a cake?
I made a jalapeno. Jalapeno and bacon cake. Caramelized bacon. Yes.
Wow.
It was very good though.
Okay, but you don't like sweets.
But it was good. It actually, because also the filling of the cake was with ricotta cheese. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't not sweet, overly sweet. It was very balanced, and it was very good. Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine myself.
It was very good. Well, nobody complained. Like everybody tried the cake, and everybody was like, "This is very good." I didn't thought. And then when they asked, and I said what it was in it, they were like, "Oh my god, I didn't thought that you."
Jalapeno caramelized bacon.
Yes.
And was it for you or was it for a client?
It was for my daughter's birthday.
Wow.
Yes. she said go for it. Like she was like, do whatever you want, and everybody everybody was. I mean, again, I don't know if people don't like it, but I got very good feedbacks for it.
Yeah. I mean, if she was happy, she's going to ask for it.
Oh yeah, she was happy.
Yeah.
She did choose the outside of the cake. I just chose the inside. I actually made a big candle for her birthday. A big candle cake. It was cool.
Can't imagine any party goers who thought they were gonna eat something sweet and then boom, the jalapeno cake.
Yeah. Yes. People will ask, but they were like, "This is very good. What is in it?" And then I would tell them. They were like, "Oh, I didn't thought that you could put that in a cake." And I'm like, "Me neither."
Well, what I'm thinking now about spicy sweets, maybe hot tamales. Hot tamales are always if you've had them, they're always sweet, but spicy at the same time. So I think they mix in cinnamon. I think that's how they get that.
Well, it is Mexican candy is like that. Mexican candy is all spicy and sweet, all of it. It's very, very rare that you find a candy that is actually just a candy. Most of them are spicy.
In Colombia, no. In Colombia, we're not that much into spice.
Yeah, I would love spice. So yeah, all those candies have spice.
I think ají is probably the most spice that we mix in our food.
Oh really?
Yeah, ají. But there's different levels to ají.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have ají in Mexico.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. I forget how it's made, but again, I'm not a big spice person, so I didn't eat it. I'm more of a sour, really, like lemon, like that kind of flavor. I like that.
No, I do like it spicy. I have stopped eating as much spicy as I used to, but I do I can't eat if my food is not spicy.
Well, here in Canada, it must be a challenge. I know it is for me when I'm trying to find fruits.
Yeah.
And again, ingredients that I would find in Colombia.
Yeah.
Here it's different.
Well, I try to make my own hot sauce at home. That's what I do. my wife always make fun of me. She's like, I bring your smile Valentina to every party you go. So your small hot sauce everywhere you go so you can put in the food. Yeah, I do struggle with the spicy.
Yeah, finding the right ingredients here is tough.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good that again you were able to make the jalapeno cake.
Yeah.
I would have never imagined
Yeah.
a jalapeno cake. I'm sure that if I had attended that birthday party, I would have been very shocked. But imagine something,
Okay, it was good. I promise, it was good.
But yeah, and how long have you had this business for now, running out of your basement?
Well, we have been living here for 2 years now, I think, and I've been open for a year.
For a year, okay.
Here in Lloyd, just for a year, yeah.
The year is always like the trickiest one. It's always a challenge by fire, we call it.
Well, it's hard always to start over, right? Because we were living in Provost, and I had my business there, and then we moved here, and while they were doing the renos and doing the space for the kitchen, it took longer than I thought, and then putting my name out there is always a challenge. And here I have more competition, right? I call it competition, but honestly, all the ladies that bake in town, they're amazing. We actually have a chat together. They add me when I moved here, and they found me.
The baking association.
Yes, they found me, and this lady sent me a text, and she's like, we have a group chat, all the bakers that are around, and I just wanted to know you when I joined. I'm like, absolutely, and they're so kind, and we're always trying to help each other if we need a cookie cutter, or like we were running, like the other day my edible printer wasn't working properly, and one of the ladies helped me out and print some image that I needed for a cake for me. And it's competition, but it's a healthy competition. Like sometimes we can't take orders because we're already booked, so we just
send it out.
Yeah, we ask if someone has the time and the ability to pick for a customer, and if they can, we just send them their way. So it's competition, but I found that there is a friendly competition, and competition is just a word to use, but it's a very friendly thing.
Yeah, and you help each other, like you mentioned, with the clients.
I was very impressed.
There you go.
I didn't find that before anywhere, and here I was very surprised by it, and it is very nice.
Yeah, it's really unique.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been a contest that you've entered your cake into?
No. I have donate cakes a lot, like for Harvest Fest, or it was fundraiser for doggies. I am weak, so I make a dog, make a cake, a big cake, like in a dog shape, and I donated it. But that's it. That's all that I have purchased that donations. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was asking that to our previous guests who were actually like beer brewers, if they had sent their beers over to a competition, to a contest before. They mentioned, nah, right now they're just focusing more on themselves, on their priorities, and I imagine it's a similar case for you.
To be honest, it's very busy business. Like sometimes I want to do the farmers markets, but then I have a lot of orders, and I'm like, do I want to put more pressure or more hours into my already insane schedule? Like, do I want to do that? And most of the times the answer is no, I don't want to, because I'm already tired, right? And I'm also very weak to say no to people. Like, not yesterday, but the day before, a customer that I really like texted me, and she's like, I know it's very short notice, but can you make 50 cookies for tomorrow morning?
50 cookies for tomorrow morning?
For an opening. And I was like, it wasn't early. It was already like 2 p.m. And I really like her, so I said yes. So I finished the cookies probably at 7 a.m. And then
2 p.m.
Yes, to 7 a.m. But because I also was working on another cake, I was already working on something else. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, I can do it. It's not a big deal. And then it wasn't more time than I thought. And then I finished them at 7, and honestly, the family always helps. Like, I sent my wife to deliver them. I was like, I need to sleep, and she took the cookies and delivered them.
Have you ever thought of getting an assistant?
I had.
You had an assistant?
Yeah. No. I had thought about it, but I am very controlling. So I think my plan is like in the future to hire someone that will come and bake the cakes, because for me it's like the thing that I can find someone else can do it, and it's not that hard for me to let go and to let somebody else to take over, and the dishes obviously. Who wants to do the dishes? It's always insane. Like this, I'm done, and then you turn around and the kitchen all the way there is just upside down.
Of course, cleaning up.
Yeah.
Making the cake is fun, but then cleaning up the mess.
And you always start with this idea that I want to keep everything organized, like everything like clean and putting back everything as I go. But most of the times, and more when something doesn't go the way that you plan and you start struggling and just improvising, then you turn around and in a minute everything is a mess.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the assistant comes in.
Yes.
So after you've done the cake, you can rest up, and then tell the assistant, okay, now you gotta clean up.
I know. It's just I work in such a cookie hours. Who's gonna want to work with me at 3 a.m? Nobody. My daughter used to help me a lot, but she's not here anymore. But who's gonna want to come and work with me at 3 a.m? Nobody. So you're insane.
Yeah.
I need another Latin crazy.
Yeah, of course. I had completely forgot about the hours and everything like that.
Yes.
But it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad to have an assistant and help you out with the mess after everything's done. And again, keep track of the little details.
Yeah.
What needs to get done.
It gets overwhelming when you have to do everything, right? Taking orders, giving budgets, doing everything. It gets a lot. But I have managed.
How do you budget yourself? How do you price it?
Well, it depends a lot on how big the cake is, how many details are into the cake, because it can be a cake that is the same size, but it has way more work on it, and it can be the same price. Like depends a lot of details and flavors, because if you want to put fruit on it, it might be more expensive. If it's the fruit is in season or not, right?
Right.
And but it depends a lot on the work and the details that people want on it. I always ask some of my customers that you want a okay cake, you want a cake or wow cake, because there are 3 different prices on that, right? It can be the same thing, but it depends on the price that is in your budget is the cake that I can make for you, right?
Yeah, because it's always tough starting out and then having to price yourself and see which option do you take. You're gonna price yourself or you're overpricing, and a lot of people underprice themselves when they're starting out.
I will say that people might think I'm expensive, and I am. I can afford my cakes, but I love what I do, and I think that I will make sure that you get what you're paying for, which is always. I mean, I have find that many people advertise themselves with pictures that don't belong to them, and when you get the cake in your hands, there's no a lot at all like the one that you're looking for, right? And all the pictures that I have on my website and Facebook and all that, they're all mine.
Yes. Yeah. It's. I mean, you gotta have the evidence to kind of back it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. How'd you find getting yourself online, getting a website going? Was it another fun experience you had finding how to make a website, stuff like that?
I didn't do my website. My brother did it. My brother is the one who has been managing my website and all that, because I love technology. And I know like now it's like a lot of making videos and things like that to get out there. For me, it's hard because by the time that I'm halfway done with the cake, I'm thinking, oh, I should maybe take a video of that, and I just didn't. But my brother has helped me a lot on that, and he's the one who gives me ideas and things to help me out and get more out there. It is not that easy. It is not that easy.
Yeah, it's a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle because you are doing the cakes, you're doing the cleanup, you're doing the pricing, you're doing the people who are coming here to talk to you, the what did you call them earlier? The appointments, I
Yes,
guess?
appointments for
For the
wedding
cake?
cakes or budgets.
Yeah.
I also do like some 3D prints things for the. I do my own cookie cutters. Like I 3D print them. I have my machine to do cake toppers as well. So yeah,
And
me
having
myself
to
and
market that
yes,
online and get the clients that way.
yes,
That's an entirely different
exactly.
mindset.
I think that maybe for that I will need somebody else to be doing all that the outside work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They kind of manage the online side of things.
Yes.
That could be your assistant.
Yes, because my daughter is always like, Mom, like you could do something so short, like a small video to pause. And I'm like, by the time I think about it, it's already 3 a.m. and I just want to go to bed. Like, I don't want to record anything. I don't have the time.
The energy too, yeah.
The energy too, because like, yeah, setting everything up. And then like you turn around and obviously everything is a mess. So do I want to record that? No. So yeah, it's just not, doing that is a little bit extra, and I haven't get myself to do it. I know I should, maybe some point in the future.
And aside from those ventures that are coming up, this very busy season for you because it's wedding season. Have you ever thought of, I guess, expanding beyond here?
No, at the moment. I barely can handle this as it is. It takes a lot of my time, and I live in this kitchen most of my time is here. So I don't think even thinking about taking it out of my house is a no, because
You like your house.
I like being at home, but I also like I can't be working at a business at 3 in the morning. And then at 7 a.m. close because I need to sleep. I can't do that. Here, this is what I do, right? I just wait for people to come up, pick up their cakes, and then I go to sleep. Because I haven't slept in like maybe a day and a half. So I can't do that in a business.
Yeah.
And also to have the liberty to say, well, from this day to this day, I am not taking any orders because I'm going away. So a business is way more, like having a business out there is way more demanding. Like you cannot just close whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Have a responsibility.
Yes, it's totally different. People might think it's not, but it is, because you have to open. Otherwise, people keep coming, and if you're not open, they just leave.
Yeah.
Right, and they
Like
just
if you get
they
close.
just stop coming because you start going because every time you go is closed. So I don't even think about taking my business out of my house. At least it's not a thing I'm thinking of.
What gave you the idea to put it in the house?
I think the idea was always because it's easy for me to be home and watch, like be able to
be close to your dogs.
to be close to my dogs. I know it sounds a lot, but like I do love them a lot. So and it's very nice for them to be able to not be alone all day long.
Right.
And it was always that be able to manage my house as manage my business, which I don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I don't have to do the two things at the same time, because I'm working and I have to stop whatever I'm doing to deal with whatever I have to deal in my house. And it becomes easier for the people that knows that you're working here to think that because you're here, you are available to do whatever they want to do, right?
Yeah.
So that is pros and cons, but I'd rather to have it at home for sure.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's way more accessible. I mean, I've worked from home before, and there's been those days where you wake up, go straight to work,
Yes,
and then your work is just right beside your bed because your computer's right there.
exactly.
So I see the pros of it, definitely.
Yeah.